Dude, we're about to have a real bad time. Is that why everybody's been looking at us weird as they come by? 1, 2. Ah. Take off. You know, we haven't done a legitimate river float in probably a good month. In fact, I don't even think I've caught a smallmouth in December, but we're gonna change that. I think tomorrow we're gonna hit the river, which means we actually have to turn this junk into something fishable. And that's the hard part. It's like we're coming off this Christmas funk. I've got all this new stuff. And honestly, like I don't really want to take a ton of risk and try new stuff. I want to really catch some fish, especially because like I could tie on a jerkbait, go down the river and probably catch a bunch, but it's really addicting to do that when it works, but I do want to experiment a little bit. So I have to make some judgment calls here. The hard part is the stretch of river that I'm really considering fishing is kind of tight. I do want to take this too. Like, I know it's like cold, you know, the water's probably going to be in the mid to high 40s depending on what these temps do, but like I feel like I can make the throwback baits Metro Glide because I did get a big pink and yellow Metro Glide. So I think I can make this work too, but it's just going to take some patience. I'm really split on what to take. Like I want to take that 5th rod, but I know that it's going to be tight quarters. And you can tell I haven't been fishing in a while because my Newport wasn't even hooked up on the shoalie. We're going to get this squared away. I'm charging my little battery, which you can see right there. That is the Lifetime 24 volt, 25 amp hour battery. That thing is legitimate. It's a nice compromise to these bigger ones. If you're ever curious on how much you use, you don't use nearly as much as you think. So we're going to take the small battery. We're going to play small ball, jerk baits, and go from there. So one big change I'm really thinking about making here is I know I've got a jig tied on, and you would think like jig, you gotta have it. It's gotta be a standard here in winter, especially when like all of these are bait for this presentation, but I really want to creep this on the bottom because I feel like you could creep this like a jig. This is the new Citizen Micro, and honestly a pretty good result. So I'm gonna take a gamble here and cut the jig off, put this on. So sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the hype of a new lure, but honestly I could not resist these new Citizen Micros. And if you're not familiar with these are the new versions. I guess technically they're 3.5 inch versions of the Citizen, which I've thrown a lot, caught a lot of big largemouth on them. But I'm thinking about having this bad boy hooked up and just creeping it along the bottom and see if we could trick a winter smallmouth. So we're all loaded for tomorrow. We're going super skinny, so I'm only taking the 3 rods. We pivoted a little bit at the last minute. We're gonna go somewhere new. See if we can get on something, because it has been a long time since we've had a good old-fashioned river send. So let's do it. As is tradition, I always like to make a few casts as I wait for the slowpoke people I fish with to show up. So we're gonna fish this really overfished bridge. So it's kind of spicy though. My finest work. Oh, you got some scraping there.
I was in my boat. Heck outside of my boat.
So first impressions of this is quite positive. Like I just threw it in some water here and I really like the way this runs. Micro Citizen plus 1/0 flashy swimmer. Runs really good. It keeps the nose down, that tail just slightly up, bouncing off the bottom. It looks like a snack. So let's catch some fish on it. Oh, I'm not getting skunked. Look at that, I'm not getting skunked. freaking micro bag.
Dude, it is so hard to stand.
Go to this side. Come to this side. I caught 2.
You caught 2?
Yeah,
Smallmouth?
spots. I just don't want to blow up the side. Come to like this side.
Up in here?
Well, no, behind me. But this deeper, that's the deeper side, so you probably don't want to blow it up. One was there, one was on the rocks.
Good ones or little ones?
Nah, little ones. But I didn't get skunked.
Well, you did. How deep of a creek are you fishing?
That's just a rock crawler.
Like a quarter bill?
No, like a deep diver. Hey, HR. That's a fish. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a good one.
Keep down. Oh, dude, your rod's totally doubled over.
He's off.
Oh.
No, he's on. He's on. He's off.
What was it?
I don't know.
That's
That
what
was
I
a big
hate.
fish.
You think it was a big one?
I think it was a bass. It was head shaking.
Dude, that sucks, man.
Man, I should have let him come up.
That's what I hate about crankbaits is they get off all the freaking time.
Well, this isn't even a crankbait rod. Yeah, that was a big one. I honestly, I don't know. Like, it felt like a bass to me. It's and that, I don't know, man. I mean, you saw him. He was swimming towards us. There we go. First decent fish of the year. Kind of a mutt-looking largemouth. So. You're gonna slam though if you do that. I actually think that's a spot to flip maybe.
Where?
The left, because I'm actually looking at it and it's pushing into the rocks. I think the play is to go right down this center.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
All right, well, wish me luck. Hey, don't hit that. There's a big log right there. Homie, is this a dam?
No, I don't think so.
Am I blind? No.
Is there construction there?
Oh God. Dude. Is that why everybody's been looking at us weird as they come by? There's got it. It looks like maybe there's a little indent to the left. Dude, we're about to have a real bad time. Okay, now close the head. Dude, it's a huge drop.
I'm gonna try to give you a push.
Now I'm gonna turn. You all right?
Yeah, the motor.
We're good.
That pedal. I got it. All right, coming for you.
Good? Just watch your feet for like metal and stuff. I moved most of it out of the way. Like I moved.
Bigger battery.
Oh. It's better, guys, I swear. Wow, what a trip when something you plan out like days in advance goes nowhere near according to plan. That's what this trip was. It was it was interesting, guys. Like, and you may have noticed from the video, I really wanted to catch one on the Citizen Micro, and we threw that thing until my arm wanted to fall off, and I didn't get a single bite. But I'm going to talk about a few things that kind of wrap this video up. Specifically, I'm going to give you guys one tip for winter that I think will change a lot of your perspectives on how you dress to get out on the water. And you may have noticed the trip was plagued with problems. Only one of the fish was fully caught on camera. That's because we did have some technical difficulties, and including that insane portage, and we lost a really big fish. But that's winter fishing, guys. This video just encapsulates the challenges of fishing in the winter, and nothing is going to go the way you planned. Like, we had all these baits lined up at the front of the video that we wanted to throw, and it just didn't happen. But I want to point out, we started the day with a jerkbait, the white jerkbait, the +1. I realized early on wasn't going to work. Make a switch to the rock crawler. If you watched my previous video, I talk a lot about how crankbaits have been huge on the river this year. Catch 2 spotted bass, lose a big one, bite dies off, sun comes out, nothing's biting. What do you do? Well, I changed back to a jerkbait. But this color right here is a Western clown. It is actually called M. Achian. I want to pronounce it. You know, some of these special edition megabass colors have wild names. But this is essentially a Western clown. It's a clown colored jerkbait with a little bit of gold, some tiger stripes, very vibrant. But what happened is even though I'd been catching fish, the bite died off. The sun came out. I know from experience on every river I've ever fished, clown colored jerkbaits work well when it's sunny out. I don't know why. It's just like something I've seen in the winter, and I've consistently caught them in this scenario. So I make the switch, catch that nice largemouth. Of course, that GoPro clip was a little corrupted, but luckily I had my phone. You can see right before I caught it, you know, I was standing up in the kayak and I was able to catch them off some rocks. So a really interesting day that didn't go nearly as planned. Like, if you watch that video and then watch the end of this video, you're like, what happened in the middle? Because you caught them on crankbaits and jerkbaits, not Citizens and glide baits and stuff like that. Sometimes winter just throws a wrench in your plan. Like, it never goes the way you expect it to. And this was a prime example. And I think this is a good learning experience. If you watch this video and expected me to go out on the river and slay them, you probably haven't done a lot of winter fishing. But that's the flip side, is sometimes you'll go out in the winter and you'll find a spot where they're just loaded and you'll catch 50 fish. In fact, I'm working on a video that I edited with 40 to 50 fish. So there are those days in the winter, guys. Trust me, you just got to be consistent. But that leads me to my tip. What is the #1 tip? And that is how you dress. Everyone will wear thermals, they'll wear hoodies, they'll wear leggings under their things, they'll wear coats, they'll wear hoods. But what they always slack on is footwear. My buddy Cole, even on this river, was like, my feet are frozen, dude. I feel like I have frostbite. And that's because of socks. You need to get yourself a quick drying pair of socks that are thermal. I typically wear 2 pairs in a size 12 boundary boot. The NRS boundary boots are great because they keep your feet dry, but they are not very warm. So I wear 2 pairs of socks. I carry an extra pair of socks as well. In fact, I took a full set of gear to change into in case I fell in. It's important to be prepared in the winter, and socks are often overlooked. You think you have these nice big warm boots on, but the reality is most of your heat is going to dissipate if you get wet, or they just don't hold heat very well unless you have a good pair of socks on. I know there are some alpaca socks that dry really quick too that are super warm. I believe that brand is called Hollow, so you can check them out. This is just called Polar Extreme. I've used these styles for years. I typically wear the thin version and this thick version over top of each other, and then the boundary boot. I always go a size up in the winter because my socks are huge and you can't fit into the 11s because I am a size 11, so I wear a size 12 in the winter with bigger socks. So that's my tip for you guys. Don't wear these crappy cotton socks. They look great, but if they get wet, you can just kiss your day goodbye. So there's your tip for the winter. And honestly, guys, this was an insanely frustrating day, but it was a fun day. I would totally do this float again. If you could tell me to go back in time and do this float again, I would do it. And I think I would catch more fish, because by the time we got to this, I had never floated the end of it. There was a lot of challenges, but I figured out how they were biting, what they were doing, and I think that if I had a mulligan on a couple of those winter holes, I could actually pull out a few more fish. So that's the video, guys. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you saw what the truth is behind some days of winter fishing, and I'll see you guys out on the water. I almost grabbed my spare shoes, but I was like, nah, it's gonna be a chill day.